Good morning and welcome to Life Without Shakers, and today I'm in Braithwaite for another selection of northwestern fells, and there's a lot in store today, so many that I'm having to actually consult my book because otherwise I'd never remember them all. First up today is Barrow, and from Barrow I'm going to traverse across to Causey Pike via Outerside, and then from Causey Pike it's up the ridge to Crags, Sail and Crag Hill, and then from Crag Hill I'm going to do a bit of a deviation to pick up Whiteside before returning back via Hopegill Head and Grisedale Pike and back down to Whinlatter Pass where the car's parked, and it should be about 12 or 13 miles all in, I think. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous, hot, sunny day, so I'm hoping for some nice views today. I took some doing just getting out of Braithwaite. It's a village, it's a bit of a maze. Paths everywhere. But I think I'm on the right path, because I think that is Barrow just in front of me there. And a fabulous view. Most of the view is all behind me on the way up, but there's plenty of RAF action to keep me entertained. It's a beautiful view. Right, now onwards to Outerside. Oh, this is going to be a long walk. Yeah, it's proving difficult to find my way across from Barrow to Outerside. That was on the wrong path before, but it turned out it was on the right path. It just looked like the wrong path, but it meant that I ended up going up a different path and walking up a hill for no reason at all. Oh, thankfully I've reacquired the correct path now, hopefully. So I do eventually make it to Outerside, Wainwright number 18 in book 6. This is 1,863 feet. Wainwright says the valley of Coaldale, coming down straight as an arrow to Braithwaite, is deeply enclosed by a continuous horseshoe rim of high summits from Causey Pike round to Grisedale Pike. But while the latter descends uncompromisingly in a very steep and unbroken slope, the opposite ridge of Causey Pike is accompanied by a lower and parallel ridge like an inner balcony, the fall to the valley being thereby interrupted. The main eminence on this subsidiary ridge is the abrupt summit of Outerside, and its position is such that it looks down into the vast pit of the head of Coaldale and up into the exciting skyline of the surrounding ring of peaks. It's not a bad viewpoint, for all that it's surrounded by higher peaks. The view from the top was better, but the wind was a bit high for filming. There is the valley of Coaldale, and there is Grisedale Pike looming beyond it. That is the last of today's fells. Right, now got to get down from here and back across to the main ridge towards Causey Pike on the other side. Well, it's definitely much easier coming down that side of Outerside than it was going up the other side. Almost back at the start of the path back up towards Causey Pike. So this is Causey Pike, Wainwright number 19 of the Northwestern Fells. This is 2,035 feet approximately. Wainwright says most fells conform to a general pattern, but some have an unorthodoxy of shape, a peculiarity of outline that identifies them on sight from wherever they may be seen. These not only help to fix a bearing in moments of doubt, but serve also as pointers to neighbouring fells not favoured with distinctive features. A landmark of this kind is Causey Pike, dominant in the New London Durham water scene. The knob of the summit would itself be enough for identification on most views, repeated 4 times in lesser undulations. As it is, like the legendary sea serpent, the top is quite unmistakable. Even when the less ups and downs are concealed from sight, as when the fell is seen end on, the pyramid of the main summit is no less impressive because then it gains in slimness and elegance. Really is a fabulous view from here. Down across Newlands towards Derwentwater. Look how low Barrow looks from here. Wow, stunning. And the best bit is, hopefully I've done the worst of the climbing for today, because the rest of the fells that I need to do are all linked by nice handy ridges. Ah, what a difference the weather makes. Right, this in front is Scar Crags, as well named, and beyond that, just poking up, is the next fell, which is Sail, and beyond that, Crag Hill, or Eel Crag. That's 2 names, that one. Right, that is the next 2 fells, and then swinging round we can see Hopegill Head, and I think just poking out behind Hopegill Head is Whiteside. And then obviously the looming bulk of Grisedale Pike, which is the last fell of the day. is Scar Crags. This is 2,205 feet, Wainwright number 20 in book 6. Scar Crags is the big brother of Causey Pike, topping the latter by 170 feet, but it is the lesser height that captures the fancy, that provides the challenge, that steals the picture and is better known by far. Scar Crags continues to line the ridge towards Eel Crag, and does so in rather striking fashion, having a ragged edge of broken heathery crag throughout its length, and below an excessively rough slope falls steeply to Rig Beck. It does feel like what it is, the midpoint on a ridge. So let's continue onwards to Sail. Now, I've been kind of looking forward to this next bit. When I was up on Ard Crags earlier in the year, she's just over there, I remember looking across at this fell and seeing this windy staircase going up the hillside and thinking, oh, it's like a really nice walk on a good day. Well, I've got the good day, so let's hope it is a nice walk. This is the summit of Sail, 2,530 feet and Wainwright number 21 in the northwestern fells. Wainwright says Sail is the least obtrusive of the 2,500 footers, being completely dominated by its faster and more rugged neighbour Eel Crag, and an absence of attractive and interesting features adds to its inferiority complex. Sail is, however, an unavoidable obstacle on the way to or from the bigger fell, where the fine east ridge rooted accumulants, the well-trodden path to its summit is invariably used for this purpose, and not with Sail as the main objective of the walk. Indeed, the path does not even trouble to visit the cairn. There's another Wainwright down for the day. There is the path up to Eel Crag. That looks a lot less welcoming than the path up to Sail. Point marks the summit of Crag Hill, or Eel Crag as Wainwright has it, 2,749 feet, and Wainwright number 22 of book 6, and it's very windy. I'm going to drop down, find somewhere a bit more sheltered, go back to eat and tell you what Wainwright said about it there. Truly the focal point of the concentration of fells rising between the valleys of Newland and Lawton. Unlike Grassmoor, Eel Crag is supported by ridges. Unlike Grassmoor, it stands in the midst of a group of satellites. Unlike Grassmoor, it commands an excellent all-round view. It is in the centre of things, and it is an obvious objective. Time for lunch now, as I survey the next bit of my traverse the edge of Hopegill Head rather than drop down all the way into the valley floor. Retrace my steps along the beautiful ridge of Hopegill Head, back to Grisedale Pike and back to Whinlatter. Slightly annoying there, having to bypass the summit of Hopegill Head. I have to hit that, we'll be hitting that on the way back. First I've got to head out along this ridge to Whiteside, and what a view from the ridge, stunning. Terminated in Wainwright's summit of Whiteside, 2,317 feet. This is Wainwright number 23 of the Northwestern Fells. As travellers make their way up the Vale of Lawton, eager for the sight of the thrilling Buttermere skyline just around the corner, their enthusiasm is kept in check by the successive buttresses of Whiteside, which descend steeply into the valley on the left and conceal the desired view of lake and mountain ahead. There are three buttresses on this western flank of Whiteside: Dodd, Pen and Whiteside End, and together they form a cornerstone in triplicate to the high fells in the rear, for it is here that Lakeland really leaps into the sky from the flatlands of West Cumberland. And you can see the flatlands of West Cumberland stretching out as far as the eye can see. You can also see a little bit of Water, I think that is. You could see a bit of Crummock Water, I think. I just walked to the end of this ridge. There it is. Looming bulk of grassmoor across the valley. Right, I have to retrace my steps along this ridge to Hopegill Head and Grisedale Pike. I'm back at the other end of the ridge for Wainwright number 24 of Book 6. This is Hopegill Head, otherwise known as Hobcarton Pike, 2,525 feet. A high mountain ridge leaps like a rainbow from the woods and fields of Braithwaite and arcs through the sky for 5 miles to the east, where the descending curve comes down to the village of Braithwaite. This ridge has 3 main summits, of which the central one, and the finest but not the highest, is known locally as Hobcarton Pike and to map makers as Hopegill Head. The supporting fell stretches far to the north, having roots in Whinlatter in the Vale of Lawton. a rather steep descent into the valley on this side of the well, you want to fall into that. I'm now going to traverse round the side of this declivity to my final destination for today, Grisedale Pike. And ninth and finally for today, we reached Wainwright number 25 of book 6. This is Grisedale Pike, 2,593 feet. And once again, it's far too windy to do any filming at all from the actual summit, so just drop down to this grassy bit of slope. Wainwright says all visitors to Lakeland who come to walk on the hills turn their footsteps in due course to Grisedale Pike. It is seldom a prime objective, being a little out of the way, but the graceful peak piercing the western sky is a nagger of conscience and cannot be long ignored, nor should it be. Conspicuously in view from the environment of Keswick, it is one of those fells that compels attention by reasons of shapeliness and height. And it does have a splendid view on the other side. Towards Keswick, and the view up north towards Whinlatter is not too bad either. Right, that's 9 fells for the day. Time to head back to Whinlatter Pass. Oh good, I'm on the flat at last. You can see behind me because of the sun, but that's a rather steep and hairy descent off the summit of Grisedale Pike. Get back to the ridge that I need, get back to where the car's parked. But I'm going to get some fantastic views for this last couple of miles. This path down off Grisedale Pike seems to be endless. I don't seem to get anywhere close to Braithwaite, but I think I'm finally back down towards Whinlatter Pass. Oh, it's been a long tiring day today. Nearly 8 hours to do nearly 14 miles. It's ridiculously slow pace, but well, it's also been at least a mile further than it should have been. Having said that, there were 9 fells with 9 separate sets of ups and downs, and on the whole, despite how long it's taken, it has been rather enjoyable. It was a bit windy on 1 or 2 of the summits, but I think pretty much all of them there was a fantastic view in one direction or the other. Yeah, that's another 9 of the Northwestern Fells ticked off. Yeah, only a small handful left before I've completed another book. So as ever, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you can join me again next time. Until then, bye.